Hello, my name is Joe Facenda. I am a realtor with Remax Gateway here in Northern Virginia, and I've been a realtor here for over 30 years. In the last few years, I've made working with inherited property a specialty of mine, and in fact, have written a book on inherited property called When Parents Are Gone, What's Next with the House. Okay, so when you have inherited property, you have three options with the property. You can keep it in the family for personal use, you can keep it as a rental, or you can sell it. In this video, we'll be talking about keeping it in the family for personal use. And there are two reasons that people would do this. One is practical. Somebody in the family needs housing, and this particular home meets their needs and solves their problem, and it's just great for all involved. The other is more of a sentimental nature. Great memories in the home, just can't sell the family home. And I understand that completely. A little sentimental myself. Quick story, I was born and raised outside of Philadelphia. A few years ago, I saw my grandmother's home come up for sale. And I bought it. Now, I do some investing, but this is an area I would normally not invest in, and it's a style of home I normally would not invest in. It has features that I normally would stay away from, but it was my grandmother's home, and I had great memories there, and I wanted the house. My property manager told me, you could have bought that same house for about $20,000 less around the corner. And I said, that's not my grandmother's home. I didn't want that home. I only wanted this home. So I understand sentimental reasons. So whether practical or sentimental, if you're going to keep the house, let me give you a few thoughts on what you should do. Most likely, if you're going to transfer it to one family member, there will be a title report run in the transferring of the property. But if for some reason there's no requirement for a title report to be run as part of the transaction, run one anyway. Check out the prior video as to why. But in short, you want to know if there are any problems with the property or surprises at the courthouse. Better to know those things now than years down the road when they are harder to solve. The second issue becomes, how do you value the property? Most people will get an appraisal to determine the value of the property, and this serves two purposes. Again, in the prior video, it establishes value at the time of death, and also it's a starting point for you to discuss with the other people who have inherited the property the price that the property should be transferred among the heirs or the person who's staying, how much they should buy it for. If there's dissension within the family and there's some concern, or there could be some concern about one person selecting one appraiser, it's very common in real estate to get two appraisals on a piece of property. Now, with an appraiser, know that they could both see the house the same day. Both appraisers could use the same comparables, and I guarantee that they will come up with different numbers. This is not an exact science, but those two numbers should be within 2 to 3% of each other. If they are, most people take the two appraisals and average it together to get the value. Then the person who's staying, I would strongly advise that if there are multiple heirs, that only one person in the end up owning the property. Today, everybody might be in agreement and everybody might get along very well, but years down the road, life can take different directions, and one individual who's not the person living in the property may need proceeds from that property and want to sell, and it becomes complicated and conflict develops. I think it's just better early on to have just one owner. So how do you work that out? If there is a mortgage on the property, most likely the person buying the property will need to pay off that mortgage and then buy out the other heirs. So, quick example, a home is worth $500,000. There's a $200,000 mortgage. and 2 heirs. That means that each heir would get about $150,000. So the person keeping the property would need to get a mortgage for $350,000 to pay off the $200,000 mortgage and $150,000 for the other heir. There is a possibility that the current mortgage could be assumable, so you'll need to check with the lender, and they might let you keep the current mortgage, and then maybe you just need to get a second mortgage or a second trust if you don't have the funds to buy out the other heir. Now, if the house has no mortgage, I have seen the following done. 2 heirs, $500,000 property, no mortgage, each was going to get $250,000. The heir not buying the property doesn't need their $250,000 immediately, and tells the heir buying the property, I'll become the bank. You sign a note that you owe me $250,000 and you will repay me over this period of time at this interest rate. So that can do 2 things. One, it can save a lot of money in lender fees and all of that. And with today's, well, as I record this, interest rates are fairly high. There might be a reason that the rate could be a little bit lower and more advantageous for the person staying in the property. So in conclusion, if you are going to keep the property in the family, I think you're done the video series. If you still are deciding whether to keep it in the family, keep it as a rental, or sell the property, check out one of the other videos and learn about the options there and how that would all work for you. If you're at the end of your journey, thank you for watching these videos. If you're going to continue, I'll see you soon wherever you go, and we'll continue the conversation then. Thank you so much for watching.